Today has been a full and active day. I spent probably a couple hours out in my yard, managed to get quite a bit of the weeds cut down. I did stop myself before I finished, though. One of the reasons was that I'd filled up my yard waste bin, so that was actually a good stopping point. And once that's emptied out again, I'll do a little bit more of the yard work. So I think that was a successful activity for the day. I'm a little bit sore and tired, but not too bad. And I've also been doing a few things around the house, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it has been a good day all around. It got a bit cold here in northern Nevada. Um, I mean, cold enough that we turned our furnace back on, which is funny because we were broiling over the weekend. So we're not quite done with winter yet, but the temperatures are supposed to head back into the 70s and 80s. So I'm glad I was able to get out and get some yard work done while it was cool because it's much easier that way. And while I was working, I was thinking about what I will be doing to my yard this year because we've decided really not to do much traveling. So I think I'm going to work on making home a little more enjoyable. I do want to spend my summer evenings outside, and we have a movie screen and a projector, so we could actually do movies on our patio. But I need to get the patio set up for that in order to be able to enjoy the movies. So that's my plan. I'm also looking forward to getting the yard fixed up so that I can decorate it for the holidays. I've done as much decorating inside the house as I possibly can, so time to move some of that outdoors. It gives me something fun to think about while I'm working on pulling weeds, and oh, my hands are a bit sore from that. But like I said, all in all, I think it's been a very successful day. I haven't done anything writing related today, even though I was thinking about my writing. I definitely need to start reading more Edgar Allan Poe and studying up a little bit on how he wrote his poetry. I want to get the style down before I start playing around with my own poems. So I'll be doing a little bit of research on that. And I will be getting both of my manuscripts back, not this coming Friday, but a week from Friday. So in the meantime, I may pull out Restless Spirits Book 3 and do a little bit of polishing on that, just at least to get started and to keep my momentum going, because I sat down at my computer today and I was thinking I should be working. Obviously, I have been working, just not on anything writing related. And I do need to still sit down and start planning out some of my social media posts. So I'm definitely keeping busy. I'm finding that keeping myself busy like this is really good for my mental health because if I just sit around and watch TV or scroll on social media, it's not doing good things for my thought processes because the world is the world. I'm sure we all know exactly what's going on right now, and I don't need to go into that. But I really don't have a ton to talk about today because, like I said, I spent most of the day outside, and I will be definitely doing more work probably later in the week once our yard waste bin has been emptied, and then I can start actually putting down some landscape fabric. I've cut down the weeds on the south side of our house, and it's basically just a narrow alleyway, so I can't really plant anything over there. So I'm going to put something of a kind of a rock pathway. So I'm going to put down landscape fabric to suppress the weeds, and that way I will hopefully not have quite as much work to do on that each year. And I'm planning on putting a planter in the patio area because we have a half fence between us and our neighbors. And I, you know, I would like a little bit more privacy on my patio than that. So I'm going to build a little kind of a divider on the edge of the patio, and that way the stone pathway can come up to the divider. I'll probably be putting a fence panel on it and then maybe planting on the patio side, and the fence panel side then on the side facing the neighbors will just serve as a block. So suppose I could also maybe paint a mural on that side. That could be kind of fun, but I'm going to have a lot of painting to do with this building behind me because definitely needs a refresh. It hasn't been painted since we moved in, and it actually is the same color that our house used to be. I much prefer the color that we've had our house painted, so I'm not going to paint this to match our house, but I'm going to make it a little bit more complementary, I guess. I want it to be a little bit of a darker color, hopefully, so that it doesn't quite reflect the sunlight as much. But I'm also hoping that by putting up my divider on the patio, that will help with some of the sunlight, maybe just to diffuse it a little bit. And I also have a little area over here where I plan to put a secondary patio with just a little table and a couple of chairs where we can sit in the evening because it gets nice and shady over here. So lots of plans for the yard, and I'm going to have to do a little bit at a time, but I'm hoping before we get too far into summer to have enough done that I can actually enjoy spending some time outside, because on days like this, it is just a shame to be indoors. Even though it was chilly, it was very pleasant. So it would also be nice to be out on the cooler summer evenings, because once the sun goes down, it does cool down a bit here, and that way we wouldn't be trapped in the stuffy house, because our front windows face to the west. So until sunset, the sunlight just streams right into the house, and it does get a bit warm in there. And we only have our little window air conditioners, so it gets a bit stuffy. And I think hiding out in the back of the house when the sun heads into the west will be a very pleasant way to spend summer evenings. So those are my plans, and I think I've mentioned that I will take you along as I'm working on them, because I think it will be fun. I'm hoping to make some maybe Instagram-worthy views around the house where I can maybe record some of my videos outdoors too. That could be a little bit fun, especially in this little patio area that I want to create over here. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to go finish up with some of the chores that I was working on. I just took a dinner break, and then I'll relax for a little bit before bed and get up and get to work again in the morning. I hope you've had a wonderful day and that you are looking forward to some fun activities this week, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.